that, mate. Yeah, we're all good, mate. We're on, Jeff. Thanks for that, mate. I really appreciate, my man. I know you're busy, and yeah, it's good to meet you. And yeah, so Marrickville boy, eh?
All good.
Yeah, I'm from Balmain, mate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
born and bred.
I'm five dock now, so I've been in this area for a long time now. I've been in five dock for over 30 years now.
Do you like Five Dock?
I love it. It's an amazing area, great restaurants, great everything's good, great people. So I really love it here.
Yeah, well, you're there, so
All good.
yeah, most definitely. So if you don't mind, if you just want to give the people a little bit of rundown, mate, on your professional career as a boxer back in the day, and maybe how you got into the boxing, mate. What
Yeah.
motivated you, and
Well, to be honest, I never ever dreamt of being a fighter. I always wanted to play rugby league. I played, Matthew Shield. I played SG ball. I played Jersey flag, and I would have loved to get graded, but I was just a little skinny kid. I weighed like 48 kilos, 18, 19 years of age, and excuse me, I went to a police youth club one day. Definitely not to play footy and not to box, but I went there for another reason. I went there with a few friends because we were looking for some guys that we were going to try to engage in a fight with, and they weren't there. We searched the whole gym because somebody said they were at the youth club. The last room we went past was a boxing room. I looked through the window there. It was a friend of mine from school who was boxing, and I went and sat down, and I heard the trainer talk about somebody to spar this boxer, and I obviously being this cocky little kid that thought he could, maybe throw him a little. I volunteered, and the next day I went there, got the shit beat out of me, but the trainer told me that I had potential, and whether I believed him or not, I wasn't sure, but I got beat up in front of my friends, so I didn't want to not go back and think that I was a coward. So I went back, and my whole life changed. And this man by the name of Johnny Lewis told me that if I continue to train, he's seen potential in me, and said a few things about me having a fight, and 4 or 5 months if I trained properly, and I could become a state champion one day. So yeah, but anyway. Only 6 or 8 weeks later, I had my first fight at Blacktown RSL as an amateur. I won that, and I was instantly hooked on fighting. I loved it. I still played football for a while. I mixed it, and then I had a choice to make either, and I obviously wasn't going to be big enough to play rugby league. Like I said, I was like back then I was 48 kilos, and I won my first title at 51 kilos, which was 8 stone. So definitely not big enough to play rugby league. So I continued to box, and that same man, Johnny Lewis, would tell me these little things like, he said, you keep progressing the way you're progressing, you could be a state champion, you could be an Australian champion. Those two things happened to me. Then he once told me that I could go overseas. And I'm thinking, well, the only time I'm going to go overseas if I jump on a boat from Circular Quay and go to Manly. That's okay for me. And you wouldn't believe it. Within about 12 months, I was boarding planes, flying with the Australian team, around the world. I went to Indonesia, went to Taiwan, went to Bangkok, went to Rome as an amateur, and went to Northern Ireland in all these amazing competitions. And I did well in quite a lot of them, especially with the experience that I had. I got a bronze medal in the Commonwealth titles. I got a bronze medal in the World Cup. I got a gold medal in the Oceania. So yeah, so things were happening really quick, and I was loving it. And all of a sudden, the next goal that he set me was if I kept doing what I was doing, that I may represent Australia at the Olympic Games. And come early '84, they were talking about the team, and my name was getting tossed around, but I still didn't believe I could go because they're only going to take 3 or 4 fighters, and I definitely didn't think I was in the top 4 fighters in Australia at the time. But I got chosen, and on top of that, my teammates chose me as team captain, and the rest is really history. And people know I went to the Olympics. I won my first fight, won my second fight, won my third fight, and it was overturned by the jury. The first time in Olympic history that a jury says if you win a fight or not. Usually the judges say you win, and if they said that, I was guaranteed a bronze medal with the chance of going on to fight for silver and gold. But like I said, that was all taken away from me. And my next statement was at the airport when I was coming home from the Olympic Games, if they won't let me win a gold medal for Australia, I'm going to go home, I'm going to turn professional, I'm going to win a world title. So it was just, I don't know, like I said, I can't say it was a dream, mate, because I never dreamt of being a fighter. I dreamt of being a rugby league player, you know. So it was just me, maybe being in the right place at the right time, meeting a man by the name of Johnny Lewis, who had amazing power and stuff that he can make you believe in yourself and work hard.
Yeah. That destiny that you talk about, Jeff, maybe just in the right place at the right time. Has that kind of followed John through life away from boxing?
You know what? Definitely. So let me tell you, on top of that, I honestly believe people are born to do things, and I think I was born to be a fighter. And on top of that, I think it's things that happen today. Like just recently, as you know, I got my 4th world title. You know, and I look at life and I think, wow, if I got that back then, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be speaking to you today. You know, I wouldn't be married. I wouldn't have my children because I would have been a completely different person. I would have been on a completely different track. I would have been in America. So honestly, man, everything happens for a reason. And for my life, even through the troublesomes I've gone through, as much as I'd like to change, you can't change your past. You can't change things that you've already done. And all you can do is try to make them better and be a better person for those experiences. And I believe that I've done that to the most and to the best of my ability and the best of my experience. And I love everything about my life, even the trouble I've got into. I've got into trouble because now I'm going to teach people not to do the stupid, dumb things that I've done, and to have a good choice of friends and people, because it's really important. You know, we are who we hang around with. People, you know, if you mix with dogs, people think you're a dog. I mean, if you know, so people choice is really important. And when I tell young people today, it's really important to be around good people. If you want to be around bad people, it's really hard to stay good. I mean, I was one of those blessed guys who was around people who done drugs every day. I've never taken a drug in my life. I've never had a coffee in my life. I've never had a smoke in my life. I love my red wine. I love having a drink, which is maybe it's legal, but it's most probably the worst drug there is. And you know, but like I said, apart from that, like I said, I'm really happy with how my life has panned out and where I am today, because I continue to help people, and that's I honestly believe that's what I was brought on this earth to do. I was brought into this world to go through what I went through, so I can make people learn from my mistakes, because I'm honest, and I'll tell them about the stupid mistakes I made. And if I can make somebody better by learning from my experiences, I'm more than happy to share that. You know.
Yeah. So what was it like for you to step up from amateur to professional, Jeff? Like the competition. Like, did you find that tough, or did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy the harder fights, or?
To be honest, I found that easier. I mean, as an amateur, because I was so inexperienced, I was fighting guys that were really good. It was only over 3 rounds, and my strength was my fitness and my will, and you know that kind of stuff. So as I turned pro, if you look at my record, I mean, apart from winning my world title in my 7th fight, you know, in my first 24 fights, I fought for the world title 12 or 13 times. It's unheard of. I mean, when I won my 4th world title against the German Nelson, when they gave me the draw, that was after 6 years of fighting. Floyd Mayweather took 10 years to win 4 world titles. And you got to realize, during those 6 years of my activity, 2 of them were taken off with hand operations because I'd broken my hand so many times. So, you know, who knows how I could have done this. You know, like I said, I honestly believe that I was born to do what I done, and that's the fight. I'm just blessed that I found a man by the name again of Johnny Lewis, who was able to make me believe in him, make him believe in everything that he told me, and just I lived for the sport. I mean, I went home every night, I slept, I woke up, I trained, I ate, I slept, I drained, I slept. All my friends back in the day thought I was I'd abandoned everybody, because I wanted to be the best. And I wanted to be the best more for Johnny than I ever did for myself. It was just this guy put so much faith in me. And I thought, this is the way that I did repay him. Forget about money and everything else. Was every time I won, to see how happy he was, and see how happy the people around me were and I could feel that. And there was, let me tell you, I don't care. There's no money can pay for that. I mean, money's great. I've got a famous little story about Mr. Kerry Packer. Like, everybody I introduced Kerry to, they would always try to be that nice, humble, oh, Mr. Packer, money's not everything. And Kerry would say, son, it's quite obvious you fucking haven't had it. You know, you know, me, I've been there, I've had it, but listen, and I love it. And I'll never, give it up. But I still know there are other things that are much more not important to me, but that mean more about life to me, like my friendships, like my memories. I can't take any of my houses with me. I can't take my car to the grave with me, but I will take my memories, and the people that will remember me because of my memories, I think, is what life's about. And that's who I am today, man. I'm very, very honoured and proud to be doing what I'm doing in the way that I'm doing, because like I said, every day I try to help somebody in some way. Like just recently by sending things to people. Oh, we're going to let people know what you've done for us. I didn't do this for you to let people know I done it because I want to do it. I'm just helping somebody. Please, it's irrelevant. You don't have to tell anybody I've done this. I don't need you to tell anybody, because it means, yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean anything to me. I'm doing it because I want to do it, not for people to know that I've done something. So that's just where I am today, and I'm so comfortable with that person. And yeah, I'm very, very proud of what I've done, you know.
Do you think that surrounds the respect you've got in you, Jeff, for people that want to put time into you and help you when you're a kid, and like people that want to give you a hand and believe in you, and like because of like what's your nationality?
My parents from Malta.
Okay, well that kind of Malta and the Greeks and people from those kind of areas, you get brought up with a lot of respect, for your elders. And
well, it's a funny thing you say that. I got to let you know this, that my dad always taught me one thing. He told me, if you go out with your friend, you go home with your friend. If your friend's in trouble, you're in trouble with him. You've got to be there till the end. And it was just really strange. An amazing man came to my house just yesterday. I'm doing something for him. His name's Wayne. So he'll know who I'm talking about. His dad was a famous race trainer back in the day. And they're doing a big charity in September, and they asked me to be the guest speaker and so on. And you know what? He said something to me yesterday that just resonated, because my wife is Italian and her upbringing, that he came to my door with cakes and flowers and stuff. I said, please, mate, I don't need any of that stuff. And his message to me was this. He said, my dad told me, when you go to somebody's house to visit, like he was visiting me, you knock on the door with your knees. I mean, what do you mean you knock on the door with your knees? He said, because your hands are too full to knock on, to use your hands. And to me, that's my wife. And everywhere we go, we take something just to show our appreciation. And when Wayne said that to me yesterday, I can't wait to do this charity fundraiser, which is going to be massive for him,
yeah. Yeah, I think that's a big thing when certain people come along in your life and you feel that connection with them, and you want to do good for them because they believe in you, or they want to help you. But prior to that, Jeff, did you have much belief in yourself? Like, was there things lacking within you where you doubted yourself, or you not so much doubted yourself, but like it sounds like, Johnny was probably one of the first blokes that came along that imploded that respect for you to give that respect and that drive.
Yeah, without doubt, I say that. I don't know who else. I've trained with some amazing other trainers. Emmanuel Stewart, maybe the greatest boxing trainer, but Johnny was the Wayne Bennett. It was the guy who could get your respect, and yeah, and you take a bullet, you jump in front of the car for him. So when you have that love and respect for your trainer, you will do anything for them. So but like I said, I was a confident kid. Like I said, when the first day when I put my hand up the spar, I thought, I'm gonna build shit out of this. And I've never been winded that many times. Didn't know nothing about this sport, but I thought that I could handle myself. But like I said, everything happens for a reason. But I honestly believe that, yeah, I mean, me as that person you're asking me about, I think that like I said, I had something special, and it was just needed to be not just discovered, but it needed to be put into a mold that was a successful mold without.
Gotcha.
Where Wayne Bennett's got a football team to mold around. Johnny had myself and me and Johnny and a couple of our mates from the gym, and he made our gym be like maybe one of the greatest footy teams ever. So we all loved each other, we all respected each other, we all went and watched each other fight, we all trained together, we all met in the mornings, we ran together, and that was again all because of Johnny. Although Johnny wasn't there to join us, we were doing that to make this man proud. And like I said, I just want people to know, because over the last few years, me and Johnny have been on not great speaking terms or not speaking at all. And over the last few months, we've associated our amazing friendship. And I'll never forget one of the things that he said to me after the first couple of days that we spoke. And I'll love to say this. He said to me, son, if I passed away tomorrow, I'll pass away the happiest man in the world, knowing that we're back together. And, and like I said, I've always loved him, so I've never stopped loving him. But like I said, just circumstances and things occur and people interfere and things happen. But like I said, to hear him say that, I came home, I told my wife, and I was in tears, just to well, I've always known really how much I mean to Johnny, because he means the same to me. If something happened to Johnny, like I said, I'll take a bullet from him, I'll jump in front of the car for him, and I would do anything for him. So really, really special. So it's just so great to have to be reconnected with Johnny and making sure that whatever his last days or my last days, we're going to be together. And we're going to share those times together, which means a real lot to me, because without him, I certainly wouldn't be here speaking to you today.
Yeah, no, that's sensational, mate. And like the true test of a good friendship will go through struggles, and they will go through the rapids, but yeah, a good friendship will withstand it, as you say, Jeff. And you've come back together, and it's a really special thing for you, mate. And for Johnny too, bro. Which is it's great to hear. With your boxing.
Again, Johnny's important.
Say that again, mate. Sorry.
With my boxing.
It just cut out there.
Sorry. Right. So with my boxing.
Yep.
Cut out again.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, you're cutting out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Yep.
All right. Okay. Do you have a question? You asking about my boxing?
Yeah. I just asked, through your career of boxing, what is the major, like, great thing that's come out of it for you as a person? Like, what have you developed from it as a person?
Well, the discipline to be successful in any sport at the level that I competed at and in takes discipline. And the one thing that I was always great at was preparation. So I tell everybody, if you want to be good at somebody, you got to prepare for it. If you're going to run in a marathon, you prepare to run. You train for it. You run certain amount, more and more, and you build up, and then. So my greatest thing and my greatest strength, as Johnny Lewis would maybe tell anybody, was that nobody worked harder than me in the period that I worked. And I look at life this way. I mean, you have these kids, they're fighting, 3-minute rounds, and I asked them, how long do you train for? Oh, we train for 3 hours a day here in the morning, and you fight 9 minutes. It's about not burning that engine out and overdoing it. It's about and making people enjoy them. And who's going to enjoy? Well, let me tell you. And when they tell me they train for 3 hours, nobody could train or do what I done for 3 hours, because I couldn't do it for an hour. But when you push your body to the limit, it's different. So so I try to teach people today. It's about quality, not quantity, and it's about knowing what you're going to do and how long you're going to fight for, and working on that. Like a lot of these old time trainers think, you got to train for hours. You got to do. We're all different. Everybody's body's different. Everybody's mind's different. We're all different. So the first thing I do as a trainer today is I look at the individual I'm training with, and I try to work out what they need, and what their strengths and what their weaknesses are, and then you sit down and you speak to them first, and making sure that you're on the same page, on the same level as Johnny was with me, and then you go and do it. And if the guy's not enjoying doing it with you, it's time to move on. So so it's really important to have a great relationship. And like I said, the relationship that I had with Johnny Lewis was like, I don't know, second to none. I don't know if there's ever be a sporting combination that will do what we done in the period of time we done it in. Again, in the history of sport. I mean, like I said, you got to think of me, Olympic Games, when I had 20-something fights. I mean, the guys I fought had 300, 200, hundreds of fights. And, my professional career, like I said, in my 7th fight, I was world champion. In my 24th, I'd fought for like 12 or 13 world title fights and 15 rounds. I'll never forget when I was fighting 15 rounds. How's he going to fight 15 rounds? He's never done it before. Of course I've done it. I've done it in the gym. Johnny made me prepare for it a million times. I've done it sparring, guys who are bigger than me, better than me, much more experienced than me. So yeah, he had my mind in the right place. He had me physically ready, but he had me more mentally ready as well.
Do you think you can develop discipline?
Yeah, of course. If you've got the right team, you can develop anything if you want to, if you're prepared to develop. So you've got to have somebody who's prepared to want to do those kind of things. Yeah. And listen, like I said, from where I came from when I met Johnny, my Friday, Saturday nights, we were going out with my mates and fighting different gangs every weekend. That's all we done. But it just took me somebody who showed me love, respect, and somebody who told me that these things could happen to me. That and he set me these goals. He set me goals, but they were achievable. He would have set me something that's going to take 5 years or 10. Who wants to do that? But when he told me that I could do this, I could win a fight, and maybe then I could have a fight, I could be a state champion, and I start doing those things. Wow, just the self-belief that Johnny put into me and made me believe that I could conquer anything. And I thought nobody could ever beat me. Once I came over to the Olympics and became world champion and 3-time world champion, I honestly believe that at my best that nobody could have ever beaten my weight divisions. But again, the greatest thing happened to me. Guess what? The greatest interrupter in life, fame and fortune. Once people you don't get taught how to handle that. So I became rich and I became famous at a very young age, and all of a sudden, I didn't have a clue in hell how to handle it. And I'm very, very honest to say that, of course, my head went from being I could put a sock on it, I couldn't put a bean on it. It was that big, and I didn't. People didn't know that, but when I think of myself back then, I know what I was going through. And I said, shit, and I did. I got carried away with all that stuff, and who beat Jeff Fenech back then was I beat myself. And I done things that were wrong. I thought I could do things and take shortcuts that I didn't. And all of a sudden, once you get up that track that takes you to success, it's really, really hard. And I tell everybody, don't change your winning formula. Try to better the formula, but don't try to change it.
So did it humble you when it brought you back down to who you really was, to your true person?
Without doubt. The greatest thing that ever happened to me was I lost. Yeah, the greatest thing.
For sure.
I learned more from losing. And I'm the person I am because I lost. Let me tell you something again, my brother. I love you, but hey, mate, if I was undefeated world champion, you're paying me money for this, so I'm not even talking to you. But that wasn't me. But that's what happens. That's what happens. You got these people that are looking after you, asking you for. Listen, I do this because I love doing it. I do this because I want people to know that I came from nothing to being able to talk to you today, which is really important for me. Whether it's you or whether it's somebody I just stopped me in the street, I've got time for anybody, because without you guys, I don't have anything. You the guys that pay for tickets and pay to watch Jeff Fenech fight. So without bums on seats, I'm nobody. Without the people looking at me, watching me fight, I'm nobody. So to be honest, I'm more than happy. I'm totally happy that I was defeated. I'm totally happy that I got that draw instead of the victory back then, because, like I said, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have been married. So everything has happened for a reason. I just hope that that can continue. Like I said, and again, my luck doesn't just, or my fate doesn't just stop there. Here's 3 years ago, I'm in Bangkok, and I go home to bed. If I go to sleep, I die. I'm dead. I don't wake up, and all of a sudden, my friends bring the ambulance to my room because they thought I was sick, or else I'm not here. So, man, I've had I don't know, somebody's looking over me, and I believe in karma, and that's why I continue to do what I do every day and help people. Like I said, without wanting recognition, without wanting any bar, me looking in the mirror, because the ultimate judge for me is the mirror. When I look in the mirror, I know if I'm an arsehole or if I'm not. I know, and I can look at it every day, and I can look at it, and I'll make mistakes, and I think, shit, fix them and try to do something about them. But the majority of the time when I look back there, I get a pretty honest reflection. I'm very, very happy with what I've done in my life.
Well, mate, not pissing in your pocket, but the reality is that you're very honest, Jeff. You're very truthful, mate, about your ups. You're very truthful about your downs. And I think that carries some weight in life, Jeff. Like, my big turnaround in my life, mate, was when I got fair income and truthful about what I was doing and how I was conducting myself in my life, like being a heroin addict, being a criminal, no respect for other people, self centered, no empathy, no compassion. And it was only when I dead set took stock of myself and went, really, really, like, you're wrong, mate. You are so far wrong. You are so far out of line.
So let me tell you, I'm exactly the same as you. So when I was this little tough guy that thought, yeah, I got in trouble, I can handle that. Who gives a shit? I'm going to go to.
Yeah.
But what we don't realize, you got brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. I've got kids, and they've got to go through that shit. And then all of a sudden, then when you think about the real world that we're in, and that we're the tough guys that can handle it, but can everybody else put up with what we're doing and what they got to go through? Then you realize what an asshole I was, and I was. I mean, I forgot about everybody else. All I thought about was myself. That again, that 3-time, 4-time world champ, whatever they want to call me. That's I can handle this. What's going to happen? I've still got Mark and no. Listen, I didn't realize. The pain and suffering I put my children through, the pain and suffering I put my parents through, my brothers and sisters through. So I've done all that now, and I've looked like hopefully I've showed remorse. I've I apologise. I'm a different person. I try to, like I said, my life's totally different. I'm mixed with beautiful people. I've got great friends, and I'm more than happy with the position I'm in today. And with the mindset. The mindset's everything. My mindset's really, really positive and very, very, very good today.
It sounds like you're really content, Jeff.
I'm blessed. Listen, but I'm blessed. I was just talking to James Packer a couple of weeks ago. He's my beautiful friend. I love James, but when I got married, they were carrying signs around for 3, 6, and 9 months. How odds on how long I'd be married for. Well, I've been blessed. I met the most beautiful woman that I'll ever meet. My best friend in the world is my wife, and we've been married 27 years. And so yeah, everything happens for a reason, like I said. And God, I just feel, I feel really blessed. I really do feel blessed. I'm not praying to anybody, but like I said, we build our own foundation and we build our own legacy. And I've built that. I've built that with a lot of help from a lot of beautiful people like Mark Bruce. I've got friends that I'm around these days. A man by the name of Joe Molinari, Anthony Lewis. I've got some amazing, beautiful friends that help me. And some of the guys who jump on board Team Fenech, like Lou Zavanovich and Wayne Bennett, and some of the guys who sponsor my team from Outright Hire, and these guys get involved because of me, and they're helping these young kids have the most amazing lives ever. So I'm just blessed. I've got so many amazing sponsors and friends that believe in me, and like I said, that are willing to invest in my name. And hopefully I'm doing them all proud, and I'll continue to do that. But like I said, I mentioned a few there, but I've got so many more I'd love to mention. But I'm just blessed to have people that are on board. Like I said, one of the guys I mentioned is a guy who was in the Navy. His name's Wayne Bennett. He's got a company that is helping people that have been to war and stuff, and investing their money and stuff. And I think to myself, now they're the heroes of the world. These guys went out and fought for us, or we wouldn't be here. How blessed am I to have these guys who in Vietnam and everywhere else fighting and shooting people, so our nation stays afloat. So I said, my life's I'm just so blessed and honoured, and I don't know. I could ask for more, but I would never ask for more because what I've got is shit plenty, and I just want to make sure that shit plenty that I've got, I'm going to be able to share it with anybody that needs it.
Yeah. So where does life take Jeff Fenech from here? Like, you're content, you're happy, you're frigging at a good place. Like, you got Team Fenech happening there. You're doing your stuff. Well, any goals from here, mate?
Well, you stopped me from going to a restaurant at the moment called Echoes. I forgot that I had Lucky Ramy, young Benny Elias, and a few of the boys are down there. Hopefully, Blocker Roach and the boys are going to go and say hello to the boys after this. But no, listen, what I want to do is, I want to build a legacy that people know that this is one Aussie sportsman, irrespective of where I get rated, whether I'm in the top 1 or the top 100 or the top 1,000, that I'm never going to forget that without the Australian public, I wouldn't be here talking to you. Unless I was popular, unless you guys supported me, unless you guys put bums on seats and bought tickets, I wouldn't be here. So I'm never, ever going to be, ever turn my back on anybody that comes. And if I can help in any way, whether it's verbally, if I can help in any other way with a fundraiser, I do it all the time. But I want people to know that I've been put on the world for a few different reasons. One was to be the greatest, hopefully, fighter Australia ever produced. I hope I'm right up there with the Lionel Roses and the Famos and the
You are.
or Costa Zuzu,
Yeah.
all those guys. I hope I'm there. But then I want people to know that I'm the one sportsman that's never going to turn their back on an Aussie, on anybody, whether it's an Aussie, any fan of any race, colour, creed. Man, my famous saying is, I love you all, and I do, because without you, I'd be nobody.
Well, mate, that's what I know you for. As a kid, I'll never forget those words, and it made my ears pricked up. When I first ever heard that, Jeff, I went, "Who is that? Who is that?" And I didn't comprehend it as something where logically, but I felt something where another human being was on such a high in their life.
Yeah.
They were so appreciative to everybody that's behind them.
Well, just think, you got 12,000 people watching. You got all these people.
Oh, huge!
How do you say? What do you say? I love you all. That's all. That's all I can think of, because I wanted them all to feel equal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's absolutely beautiful, mate. And your attitude and the way you've conducted yourself is a testament to who you are. And yeah, it's just a privilege and an honour to have a yarn with you, mate. And yeah,
Thank
you've
you.
done so much for the sport, but you've done so much for people, mate. And I'm not pissing in your pocket, but yeah, mate, you've really represented Australia well, and so you should be at peace with yourself, mate.
Well,
And you,
just for you to know, like I said, one of the main reasons I'm here talking is because I want to be, and I don't care who you are, but obviously I know your story, and I'm so proud of what you've done, how you've changed your life around. And listen, what people need to know, there's a message for all of us. There's a message for all of us that we can do it. And again, it's just being around the right people, getting in the right circle of people, and that don't do the shit stuff, and you won't do it. And look, I want people to know one more thing. This gentleman that I told you, Wayne, who I'm going to be doing this charity for in September at the races, said to me, one of the great things he said to me, he has a verbally autistic son who was in hospital all morning yesterday, continuing nosebleed, and he's got leukemia. Like, they're the heroes of the world. The mums and dads have these kids, and they've got a 24-hour a day job. I'm nothing compared to them, and I wanted him to know that. And hopefully he got that message. And like, he's rang me today, he's so excited. And we're excited about what we're going to do and the money we're going to raise. But I want people to know that are listening to this podcast. I don't think that I'm a hero to anybody. Hopefully, I'm a life lesson to people. I'm a lesson that if you're prepared to roll your sleeves up and work hard, that we can all achieve. Because I was nobody, and like I said, I was a little skinny kid who was maybe going to jail. But I rolled my sleeves up. I listened to some great advice from some great people, and I turned my life around. And I'm here today. And if there's one thing I want to share, that if I can do it, you can do it.
100%. And there's a lot in that, Jeff, where you do put in that hard work, and hopefully that people can see that from people like yourself and myself and other people, that there's hope. And there's a lot in that. There's a lot in like getting up there and saying what you truly feel, and saying what you've been through, and giving that to other human beings publicly. There's a lot in it where people can connect with that, and resonate with that, because when you do this stuff that you're talking about publicly, where you're sharing your heart and your soul through the public, that carries a lot of weight. I think it does. Like
question: do you love doing what you're doing today?
I love it, man. I love it, Jeff. I'm so grateful, bro. Like
and that's
every.
And this is just sharing some stories of what you're sharing today. Hopefully, people are going to get this message, and not just from me, but what the message I want to look what you went through. And again, look what this gentleman who's talking to me, trying to put me on a pedestal, because of what I've done. But you deserve to be on for what you've done as well. And there are so many people who are out there doing what you're doing. If they can just look at you and again, what I want you to do for me is probably goes, please tell everybody what you've done. Please tell them your life. Just please, you let me tell mine. I want you to tell yours on this podcast. What did you go through, please, my brother?
Well, mate, I was a heroin addict. I grew up in Piedmont. I grew up in Balmain. I grew up around Newtown, all those areas that you know in the inner city. And I was lost, mate. You know, I was emotionally lost. I was just such
Forget about
a
tell them what you done, please. Tell them.
the murder.
Yeah, I don't forget the murder. I'm just saying you've had a life of and look what you've changed yourself. All I want people to know is
Yeah.
I'm not worried about any. But look where you are today, my friend. You're
Oh
here.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I have respect for you for the
yeah,
more respect than doing this on with a news crew, because guess why? It takes balls to do what you're doing today, brother.
yeah.
It takes a great mindset to be able to change everything you've done and try to, to clean it and then try to make people better as well. So I'll take my hat off to you, and it's an honor to be on your podcast, my brother.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, mate, and I'm very blessed, and but I've realised through that process, I've been very fortunate um, to identify what I've had to do to change myself. There's a lot of
Not
people.
easy.
It's hard work, man. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's hard
tough.
work. You've got to walk down the street and somebody recognise you and thinks,
Yeah,
yeah, it's that's the hardest thing in life. That's why I said even those little shit trouble things that I got into when people would yell things out at me, you've done this or you've done that. You know, I want to go over and smack him with the head. And most of the times, let me tell you, I will smack him with the head. I'll tell him, say it to my face. If you say it to my face, I'll smack you in the head. If you're tough enough to say it when I'm walking past you, say it to my face. So that's just me, and I'm not going to change. I'm never going to change my attitude to dickheads and wankers. If they've got the balls to say it behind my back, I want them to say it to my face. Then I'll give them a smack in the face and see how it feels.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and yeah, but the benefits of it just outweighs all of that for me, Jeff. Like I become an honest person. I become a decent human being. I learned the confidence to speak from my heart, to say that I was wrong, to say
Good on
that
you.
I made mistakes, to say that I wasn't a good person once upon a time. Um, but I suppose for me, mate, I had enough of living in jail, you know. I had enough of living in the boys' homes, mate. I had enough of trying to be something that I wasn't. I was pretending and I was doing it out of survival. But I got to a point where I was broken, Jeff. At 27, I was absolutely emotional broken. But as you said, that was the best opportunity for me, mate, when I was absolutely smashed, when I got it so wrong that I had to get it right from there. So yeah, I'm very fortunate, mate. You know, I'm very grateful, and I believe in God, and yeah, I'm very fortunate. You know,
Good on you, mate. Well,
very,
I take my hat off to you, brother. And this is for me, and it's been amazing. Whatever time we've spent, and I'm here forever. If you ever need me for anything, you need to talk, need to sit down, I'm there for you, my brother.
thank you, mate. And
You ever go through a relapse where you need somebody, mate? Don't be. You got my number now. Don't be one
yeah,
bit embarrassed to get a call, and I'm always there for you, friend.
mate, that means a lot to me, and I really appreciate your time, mate. And I'm going to let you go and have a lunch with you with the boys and that, you know. And yeah, geez, I'm happy I spoke to you. You made me day.
Well, you made mine as well. So all I can say is I love you all. Thank you so much.
You look after yourself and
Thank you,
have a
brother.
good lunch.
Thank you, mate. Thank
All
you.
right, mate. Take care,
Oh,
eh?
bye, mate.
All right, mate. You there?
Yeah, matey.
All right, thanks, Jeff. I love
Hope
it,
that
mate. I
I hope
really
that was good enough. We
appreciate
hope
that,
that was
bro.
good. Thank you, mate.
And yeah, God bless, eh? And thank you
Yeah.
very much, and have a nice arbor.
Thanks, matey. Bye, bye, champ. Bye.
All right, mate. Thanks, Jeff.